Hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and also peace and safety to the Akim that spread across the four corners of the world, is pushing out this truth with all diligence and putting their lives on the line to do so. I'm the brother Karatazar here out of Great Millstone, Atlanta, back again with a brief lesson. For when they shall say peace and safety. Because really the Lord, is just showing, the prophets, that we're, at the end, with everything that's going on. You had the tariffs, you have, war brewing, in the Middle East, and so on and so forth. As the scriptures speak of, these are just the contractions, that, the world is having before, it blows, and we understand that. All right. So when we see certain things that may go into effect, such as the tariffs, and then they put a hold on it, that shouldn't, make you lose your faith, so to speak. So without further ado, this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You see? So if we, believe the scriptures, and the scriptures say they shall not escape, in some form, or fashion, the Lord is going to bring these devils out of their high seat, out of their power, and we got to hold on to that faith, man, because, sometimes it may seem like, it's never, it's never going to happen, but that's to the unbelieving. Scriptures speak about, not letting the incredulity of them, that trouble thee, loosely paraphrasing. All right, so we're not supposed to, let the unbelief of others, waver us from what we believe in. The scripture said here, they should not escape. All right, these are just, just like it says, the sudden destruction is going to come. Scriptures speak about, Babylon falling quickly. Let me get that. Matter of fact, let me get that in the Apocrypha, second Esdras. So I get. Let's go to it. Second Esdras. I think it's 16. So I can bear with me. Yep. The second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 36. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the powers of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. You see, so the plagues, are close and they're not slack. Just like they're speaking of that, that underwater volcano. The brother dropped the video in the group. Of the underwater volcano that's soon to erupt. So the plagues draw not. It says, verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. You see, those are those contractions, as the scriptures speak about, and the things that we see, such as, Israel and, Iran and, Russia, Ukraine, when we see these things, these are the contractions of, all hell breaking loose, man. The angels is gonna, loosen those, their grip, off of the, the 4 corners very soon, man. Meaning that the destruction is coming. The Lord told them to hold it back. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come up upon it on every side. All right. So that's why I brought out that 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, because, sometimes it may seem like it's never going to happen, But us who know the scriptures, who believe in the scriptures, who have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and we understand what's going on, We understand that the Lord is showing signs on a daily basis, man. And you really have to, believe that. Scripture says they're not going to slack. They shall not escape him. He's not slack concerning his promises. So, we just have to hold on and continue to fight the good fight, man. So I just wanted to briefly touch on that. Lord willing, it was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close up by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. So next time, Shalom.